yeah, I don't know.
What do you see as a way to fix the system? Because I often talk about, the two-tiered justice system and talk about, district attorneys are elected officials and judges. Most people don't even know who a judge is, right? There's so many names on a ballot and you don't know who's who in the zoo. So what would you say to folks to make sure that we start making those changes, even if it's just incrementally?
I think that what you just said is one of the most important things and the easiest things that we can do is to start doing a little bit more research on who were elected as prosecutors and who were elected as judges. I was on a panel earlier and and someone talked about having a conversation with Kim Fox, the DA in the Cook County State Attorney. And what she said is just the fact that officers know that they may be charged criminally is enough of a deterrent for most of them not to engage in misconduct. But we have is so many thinking, oh, we can do this. We're not going to get you. We'll get a slap on the wrist. And so when you look at the officers that killed, Officer Chauvin, when he had his knee on, like he looked so like nothing's going to happen to me, like just total disregard. And so we have to really pay attention to who we're electing to those positions, because they hold so much power and we give them so much power freely.
Absolutely.
And the other thing that bugs me is, and I don't know if it's the same in LA or Florida, but here our judges go, they're uncontested. Like at re-election time, they just get to keep their jobs regardless of how good or bad they've been. And it's like, lawyers, we got to do a better job of running against these people that we know don't deserve to be in those seats.
I think we need more of us in those positions. And I think a lot of it is miseducation and just, lack of knowledge. So I think that, because I used to say too about, well, you got to research, you got to look into them. But at the end of the day, I sometimes don't even remember when it's time to vote until right before it's time to vote. And I remember being younger before I was, an attorney and I was more in this field. I would kind of be call up the person who I know and be like, wait, who we voting for?
I
waited till the last minute. I'm just being real. So I take that knowledge and I kind of take it on as a responsibility. So I'm working with the commissioner here in Broward County and we're putting together a Black vote, a political action committee. And I feel like some of those things, you have to take it on as your responsibility. And we know that a lot of people are just not informed, one, of who to vote for. And then a lot of people are not informed as to how easy it is to run for office. So a lot of people are well equipped. A lot of people have the talent, they have the moral compass. And those are the kind of people that we need in those positions. But we have the people, there's a judge that ran here and she changed her name to some Hispanic name in Miami, and just so she could run real quick. And I didn't even know who she was because I didn't live in Miami, but I just thought it was hilarious that she changed her name to a hyphenated Hispanic name so that people would just see her name on the ballot and vote for her. And she won. And she was the youngest judge elected in Miami or something like that. And I was just kind of laughing because I'm I'm not surprised, because at the end of the day, that's how it goes. It's whoever has the confidence and or the money to do it, and the people that get the position, and they don't have the right intent when they do it. So we need people like me who don't want to get into politics but feel the need to do it. I don't want to do that. I don't think that's fun, but I feel like I can't keep seeing things go the way that they go. So I feel like a political action committee nationwide is a great start. And then eventually we just need our own party. We need our own group of candidates every single time it's time to vote. We need our own people that are vetted, that are literally so we community oriented, the hard work, and then we say we're behind this person, and then people just be like, all right, well, if they support it, then I support it.
Truly community oriented. I think more Black police officers is super important to the criminal justice system too, and not just Black to make. Because we know not all skin folk are kinfolk, but
absolutely,
but more community minded African American police officers who are not afraid to get out in the community, talk to people, get people to know them, because that's we have to build that bridge between our communities and the police departments.
See, my issue why I support defunding the police is I feel like the system is too broken, and you can't get good people into a broken system and expect them to just be the like shining knights and fix it and just continue to do what they're supposed to do when the system is broken in and of itself. So I feel
that,
like some officers.
You have to have
I feel like some Black officers do start off with the right intention, and then they either have to make a decision like, I can't continue on this path, or I have to, win in Rome.
Well, that's why I say we need more, though, because sometimes they get out there, they're on an island. Like you look at them here, the percentage of Black officers we have in Louisville, Kentucky is way too small. It's not proportionate to our community. So, and then if they're in the department and they're easy to be targeted by other officers, that FOP and Sergeant Dorsey can like that FOP, like you. So if we have more to where they feel more protected, then I think that does away. And that's not to say, like, do I agree with some of the reallocate, like some of the main aspects of the defunding the police? I'm definitely in agreement of we need more drug treatment. We need more mental health treatment. We do need to demilitarize our departments to an extent. So I definitely am in favor of some of the defunding tactics, but I also know and here, I don't know everywhere, our police officers don't get paid anything. So you're not gonna draw the cream of the crop.
Because the increase in the allocation, the millions and millions and millions of dollars that go every single year to police officers, it goes to maybe the chief of police or someone at the very, very top, but the officers don't see anything. They see decreases. So what I want to know is, do y'all feel that it's a lack of the types of officers that you just described, Lanita, that are like, do you think that they're not applying, they're not interested in being police officers, or do you think that these police stations are not hiring those types of officers?
Well, I can speak to that because I know here in Los Angeles, I did a radio interview last week with regards to that very thing. And I say here, my police chief, I felt, didn't really have an appetite to recruit Blacks on the LAPD. We're only 9% right now. And I know that there are certainly qualified Black folks. Some of them reach out to me and say that they are being asked, for instance, how many bubbles are in a bar of soap, right? I had a young man say that, he's in a background investigation phase right now, and his background investigator is bothered by the fact that he has...
One second. You're getting feedback. And you're making a great point, but you're getting feedback. You're getting double sound. I want you to make this point.
Okay, what do we need to do? Should I just talk it?
Mute the other half probably for a second. Maybe it's the sound got to catch up, but go ahead.
So if Blacks are being asked questions that are not fair or not reasonable, obstacles are being put in their way. This young man said, for instance, he's got a degree. He sounds like he's, what we call AJ squared away. And his background investigator is bothered by the fact that he has 2 jobs, as if somehow that's a disqualifier. And so I know that there are places where they put obstacles in our way. And that's why, I encourage everybody, who has an interest in law enforcement to apply. Because if you're not there, if you're not a partner with Chauvin, you can't get him off George Floyd's neck. If you're not a partner standing outside of Tatiana Jefferson's window, you can't stop Aaron Dean from shooting her. And so it's not that there aren't qualified applicants. I think that I know for a fact attrition is a real thing. When I joined LAPD, they were under a consent decree. And I know that departments, when they're under a consent decree, can do all sorts of stuff. And then once that consent decree goes away, all of a sudden there's no appetite to recruit men or women of color. And so part of that goes to, community putting pressure on police chiefs and on mayors and make sure that there is a recruitment effort, that there is an appetite. And I also believe that police chiefs can create an environment where the good officers, quote, the good ones, can safely report on the bad ones and not be retaliated against, because every police chief was once a police officer. They understand the culture. They know what goes on, and they condone, they shelter those bad officers. They allow maltreatment for the good ones who do tell. And so it's a multifaceted problem, and it's going to take a long time in order to fix it. But I want to know from you